There was a time not long ago when it was safe to chastise your government. The opposition leaders shared the respect of the Prime Minister and President. Now we have a tyrannical democracy where misplaced priority creates abject poverty. To oppose government policy is living dangerously. So now truth is a sin, and lies and deception are the virtues now trending. If I say the government in my land don't care for the local man, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth. If I say my green Dominica has been bequeathed to Red China, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth. If I say Parliament has become a comedy competition, I'm a wanted man. Wanted for speaking truth, wanted for caring about the youth, wanted for wanting fairness in my land. So I'd much rather be a wanted man than to be a yes man to a godless, corrupt politician. Bounty hunters and character assassins on the radio. Never before have we ever seen a little money make Jumbie dance so. Men of faith selling away their blessings. Parents trading the future of their children. Fortune spent to persecute the innocent. Elimination of opposition and foreign investment. That's politics in these times. If I say law enforcement is blind to the real criminals in these times, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth. If I say the businessmen of this land are afraid of one man, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth, simple truth. If I say that one man fools most of the people all the time, I'm a wanted man. Wanted for speaking truth, wanted for caring about the youth, wanted for wanting fairness in my land. So I'd much rather be a wanted man and keep my soul free from the soul snatcher's hands. One man is an easy target, but I'm just one of my brothers who they don't know. of righteousness, when they're buried, they don't die, they just grow and grow. They taught us when we see wrong, we should take a stand. Evil thrives only when good people are silent. A man who hates opposition is a danger to all men. But the preachers and teachers of yesterday are looking the other way. If I say some pastors and priests in this land are hypocrites, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth. If I say 2 decades we've been lost and things are getting worse, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth. If I say today's school children are growing in violence, I'm a wanted man. Wanted.
Good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be with you up until, I realize my voice is low there. Let me bring it up a bit. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm nearly there. Nice. Right. Yeah, I realized my voice was low. Yes, so a special good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. Yeah, maybe I'm a wanted man, you never know.
Of yesterday, I'm looking the other way. If I say some pastors and priests in this land are hypocrites, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth. If I say 2 decades we've been lost and things are getting worse, I'm a wanted man. Simple truth.
And good night to you, Zayla.
School children.
Good night to you, Zoe.
In violence, I'm a wanted man.
Good night to you, Zalia, big sister Zalia.
Wanted for speaking truth.
Good night to you, Neela and Namara.
You wanted for wanting fairness in my land. So I'd much rather be a wanted man than take refuge in false security of a politician.
Yes, I do apologize. But you know how it goes sometimes. I had to take that one. Let me say a special good night to you all on the Facebook. And let me see. Remember to like and share, like and share. Let's see. We go over 100 likes there. Yeah, let's get the likes up on the feed. Let me make sure I like too. And let me make sure I share too. Yeah, to lead by example. Nice. Right. So let me say good night to you, Monique, Ingrid, Teresa, Winnie Simon, good night to you. Let me see who else is there. Teresa Gill, John Mark, Cynthia B, Anna Lewis, Dennis Fabio, Errol Bonaparte, Yvonne Courtney, good night to you. Cicely Celestine Merrill, good night. Lydia, good night to you. And Maudlin Sherms. Let me see who else is there. Who says there? Candy James, good night. Sharon Felix, good night to you. And Martin Charles, McLean Mitchell, Annette Mitchell, Tegwa, good night to you. Maria Ramsey, Ivadne Dawson, and I see Martin Charles, David John Dixian. What's up, Solia girl? Deanna Robney, Martin Charles, Paula Tecker, Paula Tecker, you and Mr. Handsome, I hope all you okay, eh? Nice. Davis Charles, good night to you. Antonito, what's up, bro? Ingrid Bourne, and let me see, Esther Peters. Martin Charles, you're busy there, boy. Yeah, I like it. Sherry Lambert, good night to you. And let me see, Marlon Ferguson. Oh, what's going on, girl? Wallan Aquad, good night to you. Lynn Joseph, David John, Leroy St. Paul ascending. Louisa Williams, Curlin, what's up? Let me see, Anne is there, Teresa Buddy, Frederick is there, Cindy Charles is there. All right, so everybody is there under the live. Let me see who is there under the YouTube here. Jacinta, good night to you. And Edmond, Robert, Miriam, Natalia, Dennis, Red Girl Pascal, Teresa, Cindy, Anna, Matthew, Desiree, Veronica, Clive, Mayana, Cindy, Joanna, Lona, Lolo, good night. Jenny, good night to you. Good life. Sherma, Maria, Alan Jones, good night, bro. Good night to you and Michelle. Marlon Panchu, good night. And let me see, Liza, Claire Superville, good night. Hermina, and what's the matter with this? Behave yourselves. Right, nice, yes. Sometimes, the computer and them want to behave bad. You just have to tell them behave. Right. Adrian Watts, good night to you and your lovely wife. And let me see who's there. Carl Jones, and I see Ash Myers there. Jenna, Alban Harris, good night to you, bro. Baby Daddy, Stephanie John, Carb Spice, Claude, Jacinta Livingston, Leshra Abraham, Gavin. I see you jumping first tonight, brother. Hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful night tonight. Yeah. So good night to the Talking Points family joining us via 92.9 Sister Isle FM out there on the Sister Isles of Carriacou. Yeah, we know it's Carnival Monday night, but we know all you link up with us, man. Yeah, good night. Real 91.9, 91.5 FM. Good night to you. Carriacou, you need to send me some of the kaiso, man. I ain't get no kaiso from all you know. Well, my name calling it, I'm afraid to send it from here. Playing it still. We Noise Radio. Good night to you, Wade. Good night to the We Noise family, Lady Fran. All of you in the We Noise family, a special good night to you all. It's now 12 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. We open the phone lines. It is a Monday night, so we do open the phone lines. Just a note, the WhatsApp is totally down. I may have to install a temporary WhatsApp till we can get that WhatsApp sorted out. But the WhatsApp line is I can't get messages nor calls. Before I could at least have gotten the messages. Right now, I'm not getting the messages or the calls. I'm not getting any of them. So the WhatsApp is totally down. I've been working on it all weekend. I did try to work on it, but there's some problem with the number itself, so it's not registering. So the WhatsApp is totally down. I can't get the messages, nor can I get the calls either. So as by tomorrow night, I will install a temporary number that we can use until we sort that issue out. But for tonight, it's off, yeah. And let me thank all of you that turned out today to support our brother Alvin Dabrio at the funeral of his mom. Just like to thank all of you for turning out. And we have our first caller online. Good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Good night, Camille Teresa Scott.
Good night to Miss Mary, Officer Mary, New York. Like,
you
want to sue you there?
You take the thing out my mouth, man. Oh.
Good night to you, Officer Mary. Good night, darling. Yeah. Say good night to Mr. Watson. and your wife, good night.
Yes,
Accept
yes.
my sympathy, darling. And everybody that's listening. I'm making some cocoa tea there. I will come back in just now.
No
I'm
problem.
going to make some cocoa tea and I'm trying to go to Jackson. Come home, I'm hungry.
We papa. You looking to
Okay,
get people
good night.
hungry? Cammy?
Yes.
You want to get people hungry? You tell them you're frying jacks?
Yeah, I'm going to try to go to Jackson hungry, man.
All right.
I'm making a cup of cocoa tea. I'll
All
come
right.
in a little later.
No problem. All right,
Bye-bye.
love. All right, 440-737. Well, you can't cut style on Cammy. Well, you cannot cut style on Cammy. She have cocoa tea tonight and jacks. I know some of the people in the diaspora right now, they hear that. Folks, you can call 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. So the WhatsApp is down. Even while I'm talking to you all, I'm still trying to see if I can get it to work. But it is down. Have been working on it all weekend. Have not been able to get it to work. But we're trying still. All right. So 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to get on the inside. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hello, good night, Sheldon.
Good night, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Okay. Now, I thought they had money in the budget for the wash program, which is the toilet and bathroom. Now, I hear they're asking in America for a donation of toilets to come down with for the wash program. And another thing is that this $10,000, they say that they give it to the opposition and them. Who lying? I want to know if it's Mr. Romain or lying, or if it's the opposition people and them that lying. But somehow, I believe that the opposition and them did not get no $10,000. They are custom line, so they have to come up with something to say they give them money. And if you're giving money, you have to sign a document to receive the money. So what happened? They go just take $10,000 and just let it go for them so like that? No, they had to get something to sign to receive that $10,000. So later on, we're going to know who's speaking the truth and lying. Thank you.
All right. Well, I could tell you for sure that the opposition is not lying. The opposition is not lying. And having worked in the caller, having worked in the public service yourself, I know that you're very, very, very familiar with how procedure goes within the public service, since you worked there for quite an extensive period of time. If I remember, since Eric Matthew Gary days come up to recently, you were employed in the public service, and you know that there always has to be a paper trail. So if they're claiming that they have paid the opposition members $10,000, then there has to be a paper trail. Yeah, there has to be where the money was released. It has to be where it was placed in specific accounts, or a check was provided to each of the members, and that they cannot provide that because it never happened. Yeah, it never happened. We've got a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty fine.
You're right. Go right ahead, man. You're live.
I saw a release coming from the Botaka Gardens concerning these trainees, these money trainees,
No,
and the stipends.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a while, because I realize many people are misunderstanding what has been written. So I was just letting the audience build before I go into that one. But I'll get into it. But but I'm not stopping you. You go ahead.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
What I'm saying with that, I'm looking at the date. The date it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was written on a certain date, and I'm looking at when we now seen it.
Mm-hmm.
That brings me back now also to the revocation of a license for the noise. And they seem to be doing clearly what you're saying. They're doing things in a retroactive stage. So they're dating back stuff, making it look like even that was already. And lastly, to the brother Romain, I want to know, is Mr. Romain in authority to speak on behalf of what's supposed to be taken in Parliament and what's taking place in Cabinet. Because if we clearly remember, I think was one of the first town hall meetings that the NDC had after they won the elections, and the question was placed to Minister Ron Redhead at the time. And Prime Minister Deacon called who I would consider a civilian from the crowd to answer a question that was posed directly to the minister. So are we seeing a shadow government or a shadow cabinet? I just want to clarify this because this guy answering things that he's clearly not in his league to answer, and that is a dangerous precedent. You are hearing people on radio saying that they have information before ministers have it. People on radio saying that. That is dangerous. Sheldon, I'm listening.
All right, brother. 440-7377. Yeah, I'm coming to that one with the Mani trainees. I think one or two people may have misunderstood, and it is not our business here to try to mislead anybody, so we're going to add some clarity to what has been put out there. I recognized that I got home this afternoon, wasn't feeling that 100%, and I was taking a rest, and I realized I got quite a number of missed calls and so from various people in relation to that. Yeah, so all you had to remember something, during the budget presentation, all you must go back and listen to the presentation made by Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. Remember what she said, and then look at the release that has been sent out, and you could realize that she saw what was coming up. Yeah? She saw what was coming up. We've got a call online. Good night. Good night, sir. Go right ahead.
Sheldon, I ask myself a question. What example are these governments setting for the young children of our country? Especially the students that might preparing to do an exam, and they need to know the truth. And you have a government here that continue to lie and to lie and to lie for the young people. But I ask myself a question. If in public they say NMP do nothing, did NMP do nothing? And in private they say NMP did a lot. How could you continue to lie for the people, especially the students of our country? And they came to you and they asked you, they want some question, want some answer. Who built the National Stadium? Who built the bus terminal, the cruise ship? What will you say to them? You don't know? Or you are building it? Because if you say, telling children wrong things, I want them to be successful. But children, you cannot lead in lying for the children and the youth of our country, which is say the future of tomorrow's God, have to develop, have to go forward. We must tell them the truth. We must tell them the truth. The truth is what will set you free. The truth that what will make you go forward. The truth that will bring you up higher and higher. Not lying. Not lying. But when you look at this government, that government attitude is just going to lie and to deceive the people, the young people, and the people who can compete in mathematics. And but it's time for this government to speak the truth, because people listen to them, and young people want to know the truth. They want to know the truth. They want help, and the help they want is to know the history of the country. So it's time for the government to speak the truth upon them, because the young people looking at the Prime Minister as someone to live by example. He doesn't lead by example. You have to live by example to telling the children what is the truth. Letting them know the history of the country, because they need to know. So, Brother Sheldon, that's what I have to say.
All right, thank you. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. I wonder if I have a tune to drop for them, Dave.
For there is a wind of change, it blowing through the Spice Island. Listen to the people, Mr. PM. Don't play with the Canadian people, because the wind is turning around. At all. Like all you did, only plan how to win. And after that, all you can do are thing. At all, poor people balling, they can't eat a meal. So what? It's like all you deaf and can't hear that still.
440-7377 and 347-329-3101.
But prepare yourself and bang your belly, cause the wind turn around and the
Yes, indeed. Yes, Officer Mary. Yes, I saw Mr. Winston today. I nearly got in trouble and think Mr. Winston want to sue me all kind of thing. Yes, indeed. So, folks, let me start on this one, huh? Yeah. Now, there was a letter that was sent out today to the trainees of, well, I don't know if it's to the to the Imani trainees, yeah? And let me see if I can bring it up for you. Let me let you all see exactly what I am speaking about. Yeah, so let me just enlarge it here so that you can see properly. And let me just remove this from here. Right, so let me just show you exactly what I'm speaking about. So you can see it here for yourselves. Yeah, it is dated the 30th of January 2024. You would have heard the caller previous to the last caller mentioning the date. So this is something that was sent to the trainees. They only know getting it. Note, they only know finding out about this today is when they're finding out about this, right? It's dated the 30th of January 2024. We are presently on the 12th of February. 12th of February. Their stipends are due in 3 days' time. Yeah? Roughly the 15th of February, around so. Yeah? So their stipend is due then. So the various trainees, they may have already made provisions for receiving their salaries. Yeah? But we'll get into it further. Let's see what is said here. It says, Dear Imani participants, adjustment to stipend of trainees placed within the public sector. The Ministry of Youth and Sport wishes to express its appreciation to you for your hard work and dedication over the years and extend warm greetings to you and your family for 2024. Please be advised that in alignment with government's policy directive along with the implementation of the revised minimum wage, the stipend for trainees placed within the public sector ranging from $700 to $1,150 was intended to be adjusted to be comparable to the new minimum wage threshold of $1,200 with effect from January 2024. The ministry regrets to inform that due to an administrative error, the sum of $500 was inadvertently applied across the board to all trainees within the public sector, regardless of the quantum of the stipend being received. The ministry sincerely apologizes for this error and any confusion that may have been caused as a result, and informs that effective from the first bi-monthly payment in February, that's February the 15th, they specified, the stipend will be adjusted to reflect the policy directive as intended. In other words, they would receive a reduction. Yeah? Please be assured, however, that the excess funds dispersed for the month of January will not be recalled. Once again, the ministry extends its sincerest apologies for the inconvenience this may cause, but would appreciate your understanding in this regard and thank you for your continued contribution to nation building. And that is signed by the permanent secretary. And I feel sorry for them permanent secretary and them, yeah, not all, but I feel sorry for some of them when they have to send out these things and them. Now, the thing is here, I know some of the trainees are out there saying that they are going to be reverted to the stipend that they were getting last year. That is not the case. What has taken place here is that they, instead of, remember, it's supposed to be scaled. So in other words, if a trainee was receiving $700, that trainee should receive an increase of $500. So any trainee that was receiving $700, that trainee should be receiving $500 increase. If the trainee was receiving $800, then that trainee should be receiving a $400 increase. Yeah, but what happened there is that the trainee that was receiving $800 got a $500 instead of a $400 increase. The trainees who were receiving $1,150, they had to receive a $50 increase. Instead of that, they got $500. Yeah? So they as well, even if you were 700 or you were 1,150, they all received $500 increases. Right? So we understand that part. Nice. This was a mistake. Now, number one, the impression that was given was that all trainees, it wasn't specified those in the public sector alone, were going to receive that $500 increase. And if you're speaking of bringing everyone up to the minimum wage, we would expect that government would take whatever measures are necessary to ensure that the trainees that are in the private sector are also brought up to meet the minimum wage, whether it is in conjunction with the place that they are presently training, or through government that they are brought up to that level as well, because you're openly stating here a policy of ensuring that the trainees all get up to what is the new minimum wage threshold for the island of Grenada. And the new minimum wage threshold is $1,200. Therefore, you cannot have people that are under the program, whether public or private sector, that are earning under that, right? Okay. So we're simply saying here, and again, you can see it. Yes, it is here, right? You can see it there, that they're saying that the new minimum wage threshold of $1,200 that took effect from January 2024. Now, they have made an error. They are saying that's how they overpaid. In other words, they overpaid all the trainees except those who were getting $700. They are saying that they overpaid the rest of trainees, because instead of giving them, whether it's 400, 300, 200, 100, or $50, instead of giving them those increases to bring them up to $1,200, they gave them $500. Yeah? And now 3 days before is when you're publicly admitting now, well, I don't know if it's publicly or at least to the trainees, that they're admitting that they overpay them. They're saying, don't worry, you get that money. We're not going to ask you to pay it back. We're not going to take it back from you. But know that whatever you got, it will be reduced so that you will only be receiving at the end. So in other words, they should be receiving 600 minus whatever little things that have come out. That is what they're going to be receiving now. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Douglas.
Well, Sheldon, boy, Scott,
I changed your name again.
Nah, if it's a D, use Duncan. That's my Carriacou name.
How you doing?
I'm good, bro. You go right ahead.
Listen, I've been kind of wrapping this thing around my head. Huh? I remember the Minister of Labor, when she was speaking to the minimum wage, she said employers should not limit themselves to the minimum wage if the persons who are working are eligible to get more, right? Now, I know the scaling previously was based on people's qualifications. Now, if you're bringing everybody up to the minimum, which is 12, it means that those Imanis that have the first degree are going to get 1,200. Those Imanis who have no degree are going to get 1,200. And in keeping with the minister's wish that individuals should not be subject to the minimum wage just because it's a minimum wage, but they should be rewarded based on either their ability or their qualification. And I don't think it's fair for the many trainees who was enjoying the 1150 because they had a certain level of qualification, whether it's an associate degree or a first degree, and somebody who dropped off in standard 5 or form 1. I have nothing against those people. I'm just making a point. Are getting the same salary as they're getting. I don't know how that's equitable. So I think this matter should be looked at again. I think the intention was to bump everybody up, right? But I guess when the numbers were added up, it was realized that they're going to bust the budget. So they decided, guys, we have to go back down. I don't just fair to those guys who've been earning $11.50 to be getting the same wage as the person was earning $700 or $800. Like I said, I have nothing against those guys. They're entitled to $1,200, but if you push one group up, it's just fair and equitable to push the other group up. So I hope this will be looked at again. I hope that the powers that be take a critical look and remind themselves of the statement that the Minister of Labour made with regard to not limiting yourself to the minimum wage. Only if you're speaking to the private sector, not to the government. Mm-hmm. And I said before that this minimum wage is a good thing, but government would soon realize that they are basically cutting the tree, the branch of the tree that they're sitting on, because it's going to affect them. And I guess the action taken is a reaction to the financial implications of the minimum wage. So I think we should advocate for those guys who were earning $11.50 to get an increase. They should be entitled to it. The minimum is just the minimum. That's all it says. Don't go below. That's what minimum says. Don't go below. But if I'm qualified, I'm doing a job, right? So an Imani who is teaching, right? She's in the classroom or he's in the classroom. They're qualified. A teacher that has come into the system as a teacher with a first degree is earning $3,000 plus, right? And this man is in the classroom the same thing that teacher is earning, and you're paying that person $1,200. In keeping with the minister's sentiment, that wage should not be limited to $1,200. That's my contribution tonight. I may call back depending on what happens later. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. 4407377. But, and someone has just been making that point to me on the sidelines here. And it's an important point to note. And I'm going to play something for you. And then you will tell me what was the true promise. If the promise was that they're going to give some trainees $500, or if they're going to give trainees $500. They didn't specify which trainees and some trainees and which category of trainees. So let's go over to that and see what exactly it is they were saying. Let me see if we can hear what they were saying there.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Did he say he's going to give some Imanis? Did he say that he's going to give only those in the public sector? He said 500. And if I am in the Ministry of Finance and the policy statement that is made is that Imani trainees are receiving a $500 increase, considering the staggered way that the Imani trainees have been receiving their stipend according to qualifications and so on, I would assume, in fact, I'm not assuming, the policy says Imani trainees receiving $500. Let me go back here.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up? Who is going to give people 65 and over and people who are disabled or mentally challenged $200 increase in seed from the new budget?
Now, you would recognize that when he's speaking about the seed program, he is specific. He calls out the categories of people who are receiving a $200 increase. He did not specify anything different when it comes to the Imani. He just said Imani trainees receiving $500 increase. So you would expect that those who are at $1,150 are getting a $500 increase, not a $50 increase, a $500 increase. You would expect that those who are at, whether it's $800 or $900 or whatever, that they are also receiving a $500 increase, because he did not say, He did not say that some of the trainees are going to receive in the way that he spelled out for the seed. Yeah? He was very clear.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up? Who is going to give people 65 and over and people who are disabled or mentally challenged $200 increase in seed from the new budget?
Yeah, so remember, let me play it one more time. So he did not specify. Remember, the person making that statement is the chairman of cabinet, the prime minister of this country. Yeah? So he was making a clear policy statement that Imani trainees are receiving 500. Not that some go get 50. Not that some go get 100. Not that some go get 150. Yeah, the policy statement is, he's stating policy here.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
And note, this was said just before the budget at a, this was said just before the budget at the, I think it was the General Council of the NDC. Right, so he was very clear that the Imanis are going to receive 500 and specific categories of people under the seed program are going to receive an increase. Yeah, so let's hear it again.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up? Who is going to give people 65 and over and people who are disabled or mentally challenged $200 increase in seed from the new budget?
Yes, indeed. So, folks, let me take this call. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Sheldon,
Hi.
good night.
Good night, my dear.
Sheldon, I could tell you again. I mean, Deacon, that man gone global. Sheldon, Deacon wouldn't come out there, you know. I listen to your program, but between me and you, I find that man in coming out there. That man gone global.
Well, my dear, the policy statement was made, and if I'm in the Ministry of Finance, and you tell me that you're giving Imani trainees, oh, she's gone. Yeah, if I'm in the Ministry of Finance, let's say I'm one of the workers in the Ministry of Finance, one of the hardworking people within there, right? And you come out with a policy statement, you made it before, you made it during the budget, that Imani trainees are going to receive a $500 increase. In implementing your policy statement in time, what I am going to do is apply across the board to the Imani trainees a $500 payment. Because that is what you said. You did not specify that only those in the public sector. So I'm surprised that they didn't give those in the private sector. So that may have been caught early enough so that they were able to say, well, only those that are working in the public sector, we're giving the 500. Yeah? But still, even though they caught that, they didn't catch the part where that you're going to give all of them the same amount of money and now you're going to call it back from them. Yeah? But again, in truth and in fact, the Imani trainees are supposed to receive a $500.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Not a $50, not a $100, not a $300, not a $400. So you lie to them because you say to them, and you see they put it up on screen, this was made by them. They even spell Imani's wrong. But anyhow, this was said by them. Yeah? This was not said by the New National Party. This was said by them.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up? Who is going to give people 65 and over and people who are disabled or mentally challenged $200 increase in seed from the new budget?
So you hear it there. It is not a statement that says that certain categories of Imani trainees. He didn't come and say, we are going to give Imani trainees an increase up to 500. He didn't say that. He didn't say we are going to give some categories of Imani trainees an increase up to $500, which would leave leeway for you to understand, okay, he said up to, it means that not everybody is going to get it. If he said that, you would have been able to utilize that and say, well, okay, well, no, we have to ask further questions. Let's get clarity in relation to this. But the Ministry of Finance went and they implemented based on what was being said. So what are they going to want to do now? Blame the Ministry of Finance? Who are they going to blame now? Again, it is because this government operates on knee-jerk reaction. They know they go in and take the big lash of money for themselves. They know that they go in and add on their thousands of dollars for themselves. So they have to find a way to sidestep the issue that, hey, you all have only been there, and at that time wasn't even for 19 months yet. Yeah, they had only been there for 17 months and some days. So you all had only been there for 17 months and some days, a year and some. And here it is, they were taking a second increase on salaries, and that they were taking, and not just a joke increase, they were in truth and in fact doubling their salary. So they had to do like, hey, we can't let everybody know that we're taking the whole bakery. We had to share some hops bread outside too. We had to give some men some $3 bread. We had to share out something outside so it don't look too bad that we are taking this massive increase for ourselves. So they look around and they say, well, okay, who we can think, okay, Imani trainees, give them a 500. The seed, we go put back some money under the seed, but we can't do it for everybody, because if we do it for everybody, then we wouldn't have some money for us. And then on top of that, they go and they look now and they say, okay, so we can't do it there, we can't do it there. Yeah, give the nurses and them continue. We give the nurses and them, they continue getting them and give 1,000. Don't bother to talk to the union, forget the union. We go deal with this straight. We will give the doctors and them 1,000. So they went around and they meet all the doctors and nurses without the union representatives, and they go and they come back and they give them what they give them. But while they're giving them the crumbs from the bakery, they go with the whole loaf. That is what take place. So now the Imani trainees, they're reneging on the promise now, because they saying they make any mistake with theirs, you know. And remember, this is not the first time they make mistake when it comes to making payments. And again, me ain't blaming the Ministry of Finance. It's the policy directive what coming from cabinet. For once, I'm not blaming the Ministry of Finance. If you get a policy directive, as a ministry, you get a policy directive, this is what we ought to do. You're the permanent secretary, the senior administrative officer, and the other auxiliary staff. They have to implement what the policy is to the best of their ability. So if you give the Ministry of Finance that's what they're going to implement. Yeah? Now you're telling them that they make a mistake. The Ministry of Finance, they make no mistake. Yeah? Who make the mistake? Not the Ministry of, it's no longer Ministry of Youth. Excuse me, sorry, it's been demoted. Right now we have a Department of Youth. We don't have a Ministry of Youth again. Right now, I see they put out a new logo, Department of Youth. So while under the new National Party, you had a Ministry of Youth, a full ministry dedicated to improving young people. This government decided that, no, you don't need a full ministry dedicated to young people. What you need is just make that a department. Pretty soon you might hear it attached to tourism or some kind of thing instead. Yeah, because they've downgraded the importance of that, what used to be a ministry. Yeah. So now, the Prime Minister made a statement. Yeah, and let me see what my good friend is saying here. Yeah. Yes, my friend. Yeah. So again, once again, hear it.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up? Who is going to give people 65 and over and people who are disabled or mentally challenged $200 increase in seed from the new budget?
Yeah, and I'm sure it probably had one or two Imani trainees inside there who start to jump up and they feel good and they say, well, okay, boy, what? Let me go in courts and thing. I've been watching that bed for a while now. Let me get it. Or I've been watching that look a stove and thing there. The stove going bad. Let me get a look a stove and so. And they probably been watching the stove and saying, well, okay, I won't get it. And so they was done managing how that 500 go pay, whether they're going to take 150 over X amount of months and pay for it or whatever they're going to do. And now, yeah. That's it.
$500 increase in the new budget that's coming up.
Well, somebody saying he did ask a question, you know.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Well, a friend of mine just telling me there, he asked the question who, so we could answer the question, not you. He did ask a question, hear it again.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Not he. Definitely not him. Folks, 440-7377, that's 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside. Just a reminder to those of you that may just be joining us, the WhatsApp is totally down. I can't get messages. You'll be sending, it will go through, but I can't get the messages on the WhatsApp, and we can't receive calls on the WhatsApp, but you can call us directly, both on the local and on the international line. That's 440-7377. And on the international line, for those of you in North America, 347-329-3101. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Sheldon,
Yes, my dear.
what did you see them young people clap inside? Are you sorry for them?
You know
I'm
my heart.
sorry for them.
You know my heart
They
soft,
wanted
Captain.
a change, Sheldon. They wanted a change. And when he said, who will give them the $500 of the budget? Everybody clap there, yeah. Just now we telling all of them, wait, it's just that timing. They wanted a change. And they clap. I listen to the clip. I watch and I listen.
Mm-hmm.
They clap. I don't sorry for these people and them. Whatever Mr. Dickon Mitchell as the Prime Minister do, he's damn right. I don't work in the government of Grenada, so that don't bother me what he do. What he do. Because they wanted a change. Dr. Mitchell, who not do them that? Yes. So what they get, let it take it.
Mm-hmm.
Let it take it. Today, I went, and I the gospel truth. I went to the doctor this morning in the health center. That's where I just go because I cannot pay. I cannot pay for a doctor. So I went to the health clinic on Melville Street. Sheldon Scott, there is no medication there. There is no Voltaren injection in none of the pharmacy. Anybody to go and check. I went to the Grenada pharmacy. I went to the one by down in the mall. I went to the one by Porter. I went to the Gittins. No Voltaren. No Voltaren injection. They don't have. The nurses and the doctors in the medical station, they're frustrated. They're frustrated because everybody that goes to doctor this morning and had to get certain medication, he don't have. Instead of they put up all this thing, they pay all this money. They waste so much money for the independent. I am not saying they couldn't have the thing up in the air, what they bring and have a party all about. But they should have made sure to see that he have in the health, put medication in the dispensary, in the government dispensary, for people as me and others that cannot get medication. Yeah? So all you get a Prime Minister that all you deserve. Do not complain. And the next thing with Grenadians, Mr. Scott, a lot of things affecting them and they're afraid to speak. Nobody is speaking. And I don't want none of you come by me and tell me nothing. I don't want to hear somebody that come in. I'm not in government. They come in and complain to me, Miss Tammy. I don't come in and raise my pressure. As an NNP, I ain't changed. Nobody will buy me over. They buy somebody over, now you complaining. Up, up, up. You know what Dickie Mitchell mean by up, up, up? We going up. Light bill going up. Water bill going up. Everything going up. That is what he means. He's a bright man. He's bright. Up, up, up. Water going up. Light bill going up. Telephone bill going up. Everything going up. Yeah? So take what all you get. And stay with Dr. Mitchell. I don't care. And not, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, I didn't vote for you. And I will never vote for you, sir. I will never vote for you. I don't like poor people. Or you don't like poor people. You and your whole cabinet, all your family are poor people, and all you don't care. Don't give them no damn money. Don't give them. Don't give them. Are you clapping? Just now he's sending up the next release he's sending out that he won't have money to pay all you. Good night, Grenada. Good night.
I mean, somebody says not up, up, up. They say 7 up, you know. They say, well, that up, up, up had to be 7 up. They say that can't be normal up, 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 man. Yeah. It's light bill are going up. Yeah. It's all your utility bills going up. The price of the goods in the supermarket. Every week when you go to change in. That is what going up. Yeah. And your blood pressure going up and you still can't get the medication. And the price of the medication. Sometimes when you hear the price of the blood pressure medication, it sends your blood pressure up. Yeah, just the price of the blood pressure medication sending your blood pressure up. The price of the heart medication giving you heart attack. Yeah, and the glaucoma medication price, that will make you go blind. That is what is taking place. And Cami is not the only one. I have heard over the weekend from very reliable sources that there are shortages in some locations of bandages, etc., etc., etc. Again, yeah, the shortage thing with the medication, it never really go. Yeah, but I'm hearing about it again, right? So when you hear the up, 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 she writes. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon.
Good night, my dear.
So when you pay when you pay people with check, you doesn't have a stump at the check that you pay out the money with?
Yeah, you're supposed to have your stump and you're supposed to have a thing on it.
I find Mr. Roman should bring all the checks that he pay out to the NNP people and present it on the news so everybody going to see he in line.
Of course, that is what you need to do.
I find that the best thing he could do to clear himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because he must have the name written on the check and say who he paid the money to, so then everybody going to know. And the next thing I want to congratulate Mr. Pete Mitchell for his independent address. Oh my God, it was good.
Yes, it was lovely.
It was really good.
In fact, I feel at the end of the program, my dear, you just give my idea. I go play it at the end of the program. For those who miss it, you give me an idea there.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, baby.
All right. Miss Mary, Officer Mary Ann Winston, you only go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Cousin Margaret and Moulton. I ain't find her here. All you okay? Everything okay? Cousin Ira, all you good? Nice. All right, good. Folks, I just wanted to mention something as well, because I was passing in town today and I saw a situation at the fish market. So let me just let you all glimpse a little of what I saw at the fish market. Was more, you understand, that is the flaw in the fish market, that the vendors had to be standing. In fact, that to put, like, you see how the hole is there? That to be putting a piece of board across that to stand up on it. They will, I hope they had a tetanus shot, because if their foot go down in there and they get scratched, they better have a tetanus shot, because again, how the older folks used to say, they will get lockjaw. Yeah, so that is the state within the fish market. Yeah, the St. George's fish market right now. They say about how much times people come and measure, contractor come and measure and all kind of thing, and up to now nothing can be done. So they have to be putting pieces of board across the drainage areas there, so that, yeah, they have to be putting pieces of board across there so that they could operate. And then they have the skylight, where when rain fall, now all the water is coming through the skylight. And so that is the situation with the vendors. And yeah, talking on behalf of everybody, the vendors at the fish market, this is some of what they are going through. So can those in authority, with the wherewithal to ensure that this problem is solved, please do so. Instead of just having people come and measure. I hear some other things about the fish market from another source there too, but anyway, I'll go hush on that one still, right? They have to talk for themselves, right? Not the fish vendors are talking about here, other people. They have to talk for themselves. But this is what I have seen at the fish market and so all I'm saying is it all looking good. Yeah, because if them vendors and them foot go down inside there and they get scratched or so, I really hope they had a tetanus shot, because if they do have a tetanus shot, they ending up in some problems if they foot go down in that whole day. All right? Nice. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside. Now, when government is paying you a check, especially if you're getting a check at the Treasury, there is usually a counterfoil to it. Yeah? So that there is something that remains there that you would be able to say that I've made that payment to person A or person B or so. This is the other part. Well, you go with the check, but there's the counterfoil to it. There's that part you have to tear off the check. Yeah, and there's that part that stays within the Ministry of Finance and so. So, even if it's, as the last caller said, even if it's a checkbook that they're using, so they're giving checks and so, there has to be the counterfoil or there has to be the other part, the stub, that you have your information on and so you could prove that you've paid this person. So if Mr. Romain and them know that they pay somebody, because they didn't pay the 5 MPs, they did not pay Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, they did not pay the Honorable Emlyn Pear, they did not pay the Honorable Peter David, they did not pay the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters, they did not pay the Honorable Dr. Clarice Modest. They didn't pay them no $10,000. But what they are doing is they were giving the impression to people within those constituencies that, hey, the MP get money and they hold it. Or the MP get money and they don't spend it. So they put it in their pockets and they don't use it for what it's supposed to be used for. Because they were sending people, actively sending people who sitting in cabinet right now. I ain't talking about just the rah-rah activists out there. I'm speaking about people who sitting in cabinet right now was sending individuals to these MPs claiming that the MPs get money, so go to them to get money to do this and go to them to get money to do that within the community. And all of that was meant to demean, to belittle the MP in the eyes of the general public, to make them feel that the MPs are thief, to make them feel that the MP stingy, to make them feel that the MP only giving their people the money and so on. There was no money to give because they never got it. Yeah? No member on the opposition side got any $10,000 to spend for the independence. They didn't even get 5. They didn't make it clear. They didn't get 5. They didn't get 3. They didn't get 10,000. They didn't get nothing. Let me just make it clear. Because they might want to come and say, oh, they're talking about 10,000, but they maybe get 15. No, they didn't get nothing. Zero, zilch, zot, none. Right? They didn't get no money. All right, so let's just make that clear. Contrary to what Mr. Romain and his friends have been claiming, they receive no money. Let's just make that clear. They receive no money. In addition to that, there's the other 10,000 that they've been speaking about from since budget as a constituency allowance that they're going to give to each MP so that they can carry out different things within their constituency and so on. That has not been given either. Let's just clarify that. That as well has not been given. All right? Just making sure we're on the same page. All right? Nice. Good. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. And 347-329-3101. So when the promise was that Imani trainees, full stop, not some Imani trainees, not a few Imani trainees, not St. George Imani trainees, not St. David Imani trainees, it was stated that Imani trainees will receive an increase of $500. And the reason you had that staggered approach to folks under the Imani program where different people receive different stipends was to encourage people to improve themselves so that they could receive the higher stipend. Now that has been removed, so there is no incentive to these young people now to try and improve themselves. There are trained people who were formerly trainees right now at St. George University doing their bachelor's. And they started off as Imani. In fact, I know of one case, an individual started off with no subjects. And they were able to get their O-levels. They were able to go through to MCC. And they are studying at St. George University right now. There have been cases of people who started off under the Imani program and because of the encouragement got their subjects and so on, and are now nurses and different things like that over the years. The problem is these people don't talk. We have a call online. Good night.
Hello, good night, Sheldon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful, great. Just a question. I realized the press conference they had with Mr. Romain and them. Ms. Purcell was saying that she under the budget, but she's not saying what is the budget. And I find that's a problem for me because you keep saying you're under the budget. You had a $7.5 million, then you had $15 million. And after you keep saying you're way under the budget, but you can't tell us what is the budget. And then you're asking for accounting to tell us how much money you spent. You say you had so many programs and so many people you gave out contracts to. But if you're dealing with finances, you must know everybody you've given a contract must be allotted, to sign some document, or you must know who are the people you're giving contracts. I find that it's easy. But you're telling us that you're way under the budget, but you can't tell us how much is the budget. I'm very much concerned about that, and I would like to know what is the actual budget that was spent for the independence celebration. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, my brother. Yes, indeed, and you and many other people are very interested because I will tell you, again, what we have been hearing is that there are people that form companies specifically to eat at the trough of the millions that pass by for the independence celebrations. There are people that they didn't have that company before, and within the last year, those companies were formed so that they can provide services during the independence celebrations here. Yeah, in some instances for hundreds of thousands from what I'm picking up. Yeah. But again, accounting. If you are running the celebrations and so on, you must have somewhere, there must exist a spreadsheet that says these are the people that we have contracted to provide this service, that service, the other service. This is the amount of money that we have paid them and so on. Yeah? But even bigger than that is the issue of procurement and following the Procurement Act. And we're going to get into that in a little while. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Scott.
Good night, sir. How art thou?
How you doing, man? Not too bad, not too bad.
I'm good myself,
I called to find out about something.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rumor going around saying that in the opposition received that $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the government said that they give the opposition that money, and people want to know if that they really get that money, at $10,000. Because I heard Dr. Mitchell say they never received that money. MLK say they never received that money in the press conference. So people want to know if they had received that money. Because they are saying some people now don't get the money, some people get the money. As he says, so I don't know. So I want to know.
Well, let me clear up, my friend. Let me clear up the hearsay for you. The opposition did not receive a single cent. Not $10,000, not $10, not 10 cents. The opposition did not receive a single cent. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Zot. Nothing.
But what is government lying so?
So anyone that claims contrary is being not economical with the truth. They damn lie.
And I'm calling on Dr. Mitchell and my former Prime Minister, calling on him and all the other members to speak out. This man telling too much lies, and a lot of people believe in what this man is saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That they receive $10,000, and because I understand they was calling many MPs. I was calling many MPs to ask them about the money, if they get the money. And many of the MPs said they don't get that money. So why are they doing this?
Well, I don't know for the MPs on the government end. They may very well have received it.
But them go get the money.
In some instances, we have people who feel as the MP didn't win the seat and were doing all kind of thing. Maybe they get it, but not the MP of the area who is in the opposition. Yeah? Hello?
Yeah, I find you breaking up. What's going on?
No, but go ahead. Yeah. You go ahead, Father.
I'm getting you properly.
No, but you go ahead. Go ahead, yeah. Go ahead. You go right ahead. Oh boy, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what took place. What I'll say is this. You can have a situation caller, you can call back, yeah? And when you call back, if you're not hearing me properly, you just go ahead. Because I did intercede while you were speaking. Now, they have the thing out there that some of the people who are senators, and in one case, not even a senator, yes, so they're not even a parliamentarian, that these are the people that have been carrying out significant amounts of work within the constituency. So maybe the $10,000 went to them. We don't know. We are just asking, maybe the $10,000 went to them. But the $10,000 did not go to the rightful MP. So let me repeat again. And let me go down the list of names. The Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. How much did she get? $0. The Honorable Emlyn Pear. How much did she get? $0. The Honorable Peter David. How much did he get? $0. The Honorable Clarice Modest. How much did she get? $0. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. How much did he get? $0. They all got $0 in relation to preparations for independence. Yeah? Let me just make that abundantly clear. We're not wondering, we're not guessing. I am telling you as a matter of fact, these individuals did not receive a single cent for decorations and all this thing. If it has been allocated and given to other people, we don't know. But I can confirm to you with 1,000,000% certainty that these individuals did not receive any money. All right? Yeah, just making sure you all understand. We've got a caller online. Good night. Hello.
Hello, good night.
Good night, caller. You go right ahead.
Yeah. This money thing is very easy to understand. If the parliamentary representative gets the money, how they deliver the money to them? Is it by someone taking it to the office? When they give the money, the person who received the money, don't they have to sign to say, okay, yes, they received that money? So if they do an investigation, fine. If they put it in the account in the bank don't have record of when that money was deposited in the account. So how they could lie? So if they check their account and the money was not there, so the bank can clarify that? I mean, people just making us that nice about that. That is it to understand. They lie and they lie.
Of course they have. Yes, my dear. All right, that caller is gone. Yeah, let me play what they said, and then I'll play what was said by the opposition for you. Yeah, you know I like to play it. Let's play what they said, then we'll play what the opposition said for you.
Okay. My other question is, on Monday, the opposition members had a news conference and disclosed that persons were coming to them claiming that they were awarded $10,000 for independence celebration activities in the constituency. The NOC, was that part of your expenditure? Awarding MPs $10,000 for independence celebration in the various constituencies? Was such a money assigned or allocated?
I'll respond to that question. The answer is yes. Each constituency rep, MP, would have been assigned a budget so that that particular constituency can do the essential things such as cleanups, decorations in preparation for the celebration activities.
The opposition said that they did not receive such money. Was there a time to make that claim? What is the process for accessing that money? Or what was the process?
To the best of my knowledge, that was distributed to everybody, all MPs. So I will have to do some research to see whether their claim is true or not.
So to the best of your knowledge, they all received it?
Yes, they all had access to the funds. Whether or not they used it or not, as I said, I would have to inquire and do some research on that to establish their claim.
Yes, indeed, folks. So, yeah. So, that is what was said, right? They did not, they say claiming that the members of the New National Party team, the opposition, got the money, right? They did not get. In fact, let me let you hear what was said by the members of the opposition. Let me just take this call first, then I'll go to that. Hello, good evening.
Hi, Sheldon. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I'm quite fine. How are you?
Sheldon, you have to get it straightened because when the NNP had the conference and they asked the question about if they received any money to have the celebration in the constituency, that the kids said they don't receive no money, like 10,000 or 5,000, whatever, they don't receive that. He said when he went to the bank and he go and find it out, he had $3,282. He don't know if it's for monthly, he don't know if it's for half month. So you have to get it right now before. I heard him say that when they asked the question.
I'll play it.
He did. Hello?
No, I said I'll play it in a little while.
Yeah, when they asked the question, he did not receive the 10 out of 5,000, whatever. He only received a check in the bank, $3,282. That's what he received. He don't know if it's a half month. He don't know if it's for a month. So get it right and, let the people know. Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks. Now, what Dr. Mitchell was referring to when he referred to that had nothing to do with the independents $10,000 they're speaking to, nor the $10,000 that has been promised as a constituency allowance. As leader of His Majesty's opposition, he is given a stipend through Parliament. He's given a stipend. His statements were in relation to he was not sure if that was a bi-monthly payment. In other words, since they were supposed to have received an increase, if it was the bi-monthly payment or if it was covering an entire month. He was not sure, which is why he would have to check. That statement has absolutely nothing to do and has no connection with the statement made by Mr. Orlando Romain. They are two different things, all right? So parliamentarians receive a stipend. We heard during the budget debate that stipend would be increased by 5,000. Now it seems that it was increased to 5,000. I don't know. So some clarity will be given on that. And that is what Dr. Mitchell was speaking about. He is not sure if that was a part payment or full payment, whatever it was, in relation to the new stipend that parliamentarians are supposed to be receiving. That has nothing to do with the $10,000 Mr. Romain is referring to. Nothing to do with that at all. That is something totally different. But let me just...
For this celebration, we have been hearing, first of all, we were informed in the parliament that there is now 15 million. At one point in time, a few weeks ago, I was informed that each constituency MP would have received $10,000 as part of the celebration. Can the party or any member or somebody lead the way to say whether or not the opposition members indeed received $10,000 to assist with celebrations in their constituency? And on the other hand, if the $10,000 that was promised as part of the monthly allowance of MP, has that also been received? We have just completed July. So I want to know about the two different 10,000. Is it 10,000 for as part of your regular allowance and 10,000 for independence celebration. Has this money been received, and what is the process of reporting on it?
As far as I know, no member of this the opposition team has received any such allowances. In fact, I checked with my bank a few days ago to find out what came in, and the report was $3,282 came in from me for the month of January. That's all I received. And I have to say this because there are some people who believe we get a lot of money. $3,282 came into my account as opposition member. That's important for me to state here. So I'm glad you asked that question. No, we have not received communication about those allowances, but certainly nothing has been finalized yet. I don't know if members of the government, ministers or senators receive such allowances. I've seen some expenditure being incurred in certain places, even in my own constituency. So I don't know whether that's part of what was done for the government side, but certainly the opposition, I believe I'm speaking for everybody here, that none of us have received any such allowance. Okay?
So again, folks, Dr. Mitchell was speaking there about the monthly stipend that parliamentarians, as the MP that you receive, that used to be $1,200, had to be increased to $5,000. When he checked, only $3,000 something was there, so he doesn't know if it was a half-month payment, what it was. He's not sure. He did not, outside of saying that they had received communication about it, but they did not receive any money. $0, 0 cents in relation to $10,000 for independence celebrations, or the $10,000 that they're supposed to be giving to constituencies now for people to be able to do different things.
The opposition member has not received no 10,000 for independence celebration.
No, we have not received any. We heard.
And secondly, the increase in salary as announced in the budget, you are yet to see that reflective in your bank account.
Well, appears, I think people thought it was an increase, but it appears that it replaced what I was getting before. So maybe the government side gets increases, but for members of the opposition, it appears that it replaced what we were getting before. Because I think it's important. That's why I asked the bank to check to see what came in. Because
so nobody got $5,000 as an MP on their pay?
No, none of them have. You got 5,000? No.
Because I am aware that the leader of the opposition gets more than the MPs. So the 3,000, is this was your regular thing that you had last year?
Well, we have. I can't talk with certainty. All I could tell you, Linda, is what we receive, what I personally receive. I don't know whether it's for a half month or for a full month. So I can't tell you that because the bank would not have that information. So that's where we are right now. So as far as I know, I did not get any additional $5,000.
What is the question about the 10,000 for the independence celebration?
Yeah. Thank you. I just want to emphasize this, and this is a very important question in my opinion, because I believe for all of us around this table, we have other persons who sit within the cabinet of Grenada who are sending individuals to our offices saying to them that we would have received $10,000 in support of activities for independence. My colleague here just sent to me this morning, someone would have come to him from the government saying that he received those monies. Let me just make this abundantly clear. None of our members here would have received any monies from the government up to this point as it relates to independence celebration. And as it relates to the constituency funds, the $10,000 received, let me make that abundantly clear. That persons are saying that we receive, let me make this abundantly clear, that no member sitting on this table would have received $10,000
from the government as allowances for constituency activities. So not the independence amount, not the constituency allowance. We have received nothing of this nature. As a matter of fact, we have some serious concerns as to documents that we've seen, and we await an opportune time to discuss those with the government and others concerned.
Linda, I just want to make a point. I think as responsible parliamentarians, I think we have a fundamental responsibility to insist through questions in Parliament to get a thorough, detailed examination from the government as to that $15 or $22 million which is alleged to have been spent for independence celebration, because you're hearing a lot of stories. And, you know, I'm one who passed through a lot of stories and accusations falsely. So I don't ever want to do the same thing to any member of government. But I think it's important that we ask questions and specifically and get information through the Parliament. And we will be doing so very shortly.
Yes, indeed, folks. 440-737. I think that cleared it up. So the last caller, I think that should clear it up for you. So Dr. Mitchell was referring to his, whether you want to call it stipend or salary as a parliamentarian, that is what he was speaking about. Not in relation to the 10,000 that they send in people and say, the MP have go buy them for the money. No, not that. All right. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Again, if you've just joined us, the WhatsApp line is totally down. I can't see the messages that are being sent on it, nor am I able to access calls via it. All right, so if it's anything, I cannot answer calls via the WhatsApp, nor am I able to view messages coming in on the WhatsApp, right? So anybody trying to reach us that way, I'll put something temporarily in place by tomorrow. I should be able to put a temporary number in place so that we can utilize the WhatsApp. And after that, I'll continue working on if we can get the WhatsApp back up and running properly. All right, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Yeah? So we heard from the opposition. Now, remember, in the same way, if you could ask Mr. Orlando Romain and the government to provide their proof, to provide their documentation, to show what they are claiming. Yeah, could provide, ask them, yeah, well, okay, I'll give the NNP representatives money. Sure, go ahead, show the proof of it. But we're still waiting since 2022 for proof of a cabinet conclusion that made accusation against NNP at that point in time. And we're in 2024 now. So we've been waiting since 2022 for a cabinet conclusion. Since November of 2022, we're waiting for that cabinet conclusion, and it can't appear up to now. Yeah? It cannot show itself up to now. So we await. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to get onto the inside of tonight's program. So folks, yes, the Imani participants, once again, they have been lied to. We have seen the Prime Minister himself saying that they're going to receive $500. Now we're hearing that some of them really only receiving $50. Some of them receiving $100, some of them receiving $200, and only those that are the 700 would receive the 500. And so those trainees who got their monies last month under what the Prime Minister said, know that in a few days' time when you receive your stipend, he ain't going to be as fat as it was before, right? No, it on slim fast. So he going down a bit. All right? Nice. Just so that you all know, that is what is taking place. Those of you that are at 700, the bottom line is you're supposed to receive $1,200 a month. And while we say that, we still have to ask if that is the case, and if it is a stated policy of this administration that the new minimum wage is $1,200, then how does that apply? How does that apply to the folks who are cooking at the schools? Yeah, because like it ain't apply to them. So what about the cooks at the schools? So the $1,200 is only for other people, is not for the cooks at the schools? Yeah? They are not workers too. They are not important to the scheme of things as well. They are not providing a very valuable and important service to the people of Grenada. No, what about the cooks at the school? Because you heard them, they called, you heard them on this program and on other programs, and you heard what they are receiving. So if you're doing something across the board, then in fact, in some cases, according to which part of the new minimum wage order you look at, they are actually supposed to be receiving more than 1,200. Yeah, in some instances, they're supposed to be receiving 1,500 according to, if you look at it under the hospitality arts and so on, they are at least supposed to be receiving 1,500. But the cooks at the school, they are not receiving that right now. Yeah, and they're hearing about things for everybody else, but they're not hearing about anything for them. Again, remember, all of this took place because these individuals wanted to give themselves an increase, you know. It wasn't that they so care about people and they want to give this. If they had so care about people and they was giving an increase, they would give all the Imani trainees the $500 increase across the board. Yeah? So whatever level you were at, you know then that any trainee that was down at the 700 will be above, they will be at the threshold for the minimum wage. They'd be at the threshold itself. So that they would be just there at the minimum wage. Not above it, they would be just at it. Alright? Because the 500 brings them to the threshold, not above it. It brings them exactly on the threshold itself. Well, if you wanted really and you're serious about things, you try to get them a little above that. But then all of them would have received an increase if the Prime Minister had stuck to his words. But again, that was just to give people brango because the story was bursting at that point in time that they're taking a big increase for themselves. They double the salary. They double it. They could say what they want. They double the salary. At the end of the day, the amount of money they're receiving on a monthly basis is double. Yeah? And not double because they're getting paid twice. Double because now what they receive in one bi-monthly payment is equal to what an NNP minister was receiving for a whole month. And that's a fact. Yeah? That is a fact. These are the same individuals who come and talking about, okay, we do this for money and we do this for that. They only do that to cover themselves. Because they know what they was doing with the salary and they know that the kickback from that, people going to start to say, no, how I could do that and I ain't get this and I ain't get that. They went and they cover themselves by saying, okay, we in the bakery, we take the bread already, we take the cake. We take all the turnover and go with it. So they leave some little crumbs there and they put that in a bag and hand out the door. Yeah? That is what they did. So once again, the knee-jerk reaction, the rushing to do things and the knee-jerk reaction, we see the response of this constant knee-jerk reaction to things. We're seeing it. Yeah? And we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, Sheldon, me again.
Yes, sir.
Sheldon, a couple weeks back, there was a list with some doctors that we were told they weren't paying their license and what have you. Is there any update on this thing?
No, I did not have an update on that as of recent. What I could say is that it was a very unfortunate situation. I'll try to see what I can get an update. I know who to talk to. I'll get an update on it.
Right, because with our health system right now, and these doctors seem to be permanent doctors in our health system, and if that's the case, and they still not practicing and they're not...
No, my friend, no. Let's be careful here. Their license to practice was not removed. They are allowed to practice. What was removed was their ability to write prescriptions for people that see them. So if you went to one of those doctors and they had to prescribe anything, they couldn't do it. They couldn't prescribe anything to you because the pharmacists were not allowed to accept any prescription coming from those doctors. Mm-hmm. So what that letter stated basically were to the pharmacists that, hey, you are no longer allowed to accept any prescriptions coming from these individuals because those names that I saw there, just in the later part of last year, I believe it was, I saw a note coming out with all of them licensed as practice to operate in the state of Grenada just late during the year last year.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just make sure people don't get it tied up.
Yeah,
so
because I was trying to forget it.
Yeah.
Sheldon, that press conference Friday gone, with Mr. Romain, Mr. King Douglas, Ms. Pussell, and Ms. What's your name? Grenada? Was that a government thing or NOC press conference?
The NOC is a body under the government of Grenada, so it is a
under
government.
the government of Grenada.
It's
Right.
a government thing.
But
it is, yeah.
In that particular heading for the press conference, it was stated that the NOC is giving a statement on things that happened, you know. My question to that is, and I will continue saying it, we get in touch with what I call party support and the government. When you're making a statement on the government behalf, you have to be accurate in what you're saying. And when you're saying in your assessment and by my thing and all these kind of inaccuracies, it gives speculations to people who listening, more questions than answers. Mr. Romain is a member of the government, being the advisor to the PM and on the secretariat board or whatever board you are with the NOC. In my opinion, he should not be given information at that scale concerning monies if it hasn't been brought by the Minister of Finance or probably somebody higher up than him. To me, that is just wrong. That's my opinion. I don't know who's seen it like that way, but seriously, something needs to be done about that, because over and over we are seeing people being called by this government to answer questions that ministers are supposed to answer. When the ministers don't answer it, they put people below the bus. The Minister of Finance did that. The Prime Minister did that. More than once, you see it happen. It happened to Mr. Andal recently with the Samoa Agreement. It happened to Brother Ron. And it goes on. It happens. So I would like to see the government, when they have the press conferences, have at least one minister or the line minister to answer these questions, because I don't want to hear from a third party or fourth party. That's just my take on it.
Okay, my brother. Thank you so very much. And let me say good night to that listener who is waiting on the train in the subway in Brooklyn. Let me say a very special good night to you, lady. We know that you see Amber people all over, you know. Yeah. So a special good night to the lady that listening to the program while waiting for the train in the subway there in Brooklyn. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. And again, we'd like to thank all of you that turned out on Friday to Breadfruit Fest. Yeah, unfortunately, you know me, I couldn't get around this weekend. I had to stay home. We've got a call online. Good night.
Shalom, good night.
Good night, good night.
What's up, my brother?
Hey, I make out the voice. Cool, bro, cool.
Right.
Rastaman.
So, let me put you on notice.
Yes, sir.
I find all the calling up my name too much. If I lie, if I continue to lie, I'm lying after my leader. Oh gosh, man. Not because I the Romain. You understand? Stop calling my name like that, bro.
Listen, we saying Orlando. We're not saying Devon.
All I hear is a Romain.
Well, we could go back and use your former name, you know. We could use your other name you had. So we could do a separation.
Why? I mean, why is it that these guys just want to lie because of lying sake? There's no need to lie. They lie and they panic. You understand? I cannot understand that. But one other thing I want to say before I go, I realize that this government giving our police officers pom-pom to wear on their heads. I mean, that I get in real horrors with that for the police officers. Pom-pom. I know cheerleaders just have pom-pom shaking all over the place, but not on top of their heads. Sheldon, have a good night.
Boss, leave my police officers alone, please. Leave my police officers going through enough as it is. Yeah, enough as it is. Police officers in SSU don't have to sleep head to foot already. Yeah, barely have any space between them and so on. No consideration for what they are going through. Coast Guard officers, similar situation where they have to be sleeping out in this kind of open hall and all these kind of things that they're going through. And you see, the bad thing is that you can't go inside there and take them pictures and them and come out and say because it's a military base and so you can't go in there and do them kind of thing. And maybe that is why they feel they could just treat them officers as they want. So the Coast Guard officers, you just treat them as they want. And then when, as we're seeing now, you have the situation where Kikum Jenny, well, we know Kikum Jenny they ain't call it Kikum Jenny for nothing. It does act up every now and again. All right, so it is acting up. And for those of you that may be utilizing the waterways over the next couple days, especially today is Carriacou Carnival, tomorrow Carriacou Carnival continues. So those of you that may be seeking to go up, stay wide. You have to stay far, you understand? Yeah, the exclusion zone has been extended for Kikum Jenny because it is a bit active at this point in time. All right, and then the water was rough already to begin with. The water was already rough. All right, so you have to be, those of you that are going up, try and be a little careful on your way up to Carriacou. Or those of you that are up there on your way back down, please be careful on your way back down. All right. Anyway, 440-7377. Somebody asked a question about the wash earlier, and I think we are going to have to. Partners, I know, I get a message too. Yeah, folks, those of you that are, oh boy, I lost my. Yes, the wash program. We will discuss wash again during this week, and we have to discuss nation builders as well, because remember, I asked a question a couple weeks ago in relation to nation builders. Now we know that nation builders is a non-governmental organization that has been set up based in the Prime Minister's building. Yeah, based in his building. So an NGO directly connected to the Prime Minister of the country, because it's based in his building. The documentation to set it up was done through his law firm, and then his cabinet that he sits over okayed $500,000 to an organization that is on tape saying that they ain't getting no money from government. And that money was okayed before the company was fully registered. Let me say that again. Oh, all you didn't know? All you had missed that program? Or we go revisit it sometime this week, yeah? Yeah. Because that money was okayed before Nation Builders was officially even existing. And the WASH program is being done through Nation Builders. So when they go up there and they're asking people to send toilet and send money and send this and send that and so on, we have to ask if the proper procedure financially is being followed when it comes to the WASH program. Again, we have to ask the question, is the proper procedure or are the proper procedures financially being followed when it comes to nation builders and the WASH program? You even had people that are out of, they sent people from MIT to work along with the WASH program with Nation Builders. Is Nation Builders a government entity or is it a private entity? From what we have seen, it's a private entity. Yeah? There are many other NGOs around Grenada that could have been partnered with to achieve the same objective. Yet still, they found it necessary, because we hear in one of the directors is the girlfriend of a very senior person within the National Democratic Congress, who we was talking about a little earlier. Yeah? We're hearing who's the chairman of constituency branch and that kind of thing as the directors of Nation Builders. And then you have $500,000 given to that organization, which is based in the Prime Minister's building, which was set up through the Prime Minister's law firm, which was given $500,000 through the cabinet that the Prime Minister is the chairman of. So they were given $500,000 to do this program in the Prime Minister's constituency of St. David, because they didn't start around the St. David. They're doing the project down in Belle Isle, right? So that they were given that money to complete this project in the Prime Minister's constituency. And nobody can find anything wrong with that? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. 44073. Let me collect. 4407377. That's 4407377. That is the number for you to call. Yeah, well, MIT in today. I'll find MIT again. MIT. Come now, in February, we were supposed to get our road in January. We were supposed to get the road in... Well, I don't know what road. Maybe ask you. Only remember Scale Electric and them little train. Yeah, them thing, maybe one of that. Yeah, maybe Thomas the train track or some kind of thing that they was doing. Right? 4407377. The man say, them police officers get pom-pom to go and march. Me only want to go and put in trouble. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get it to the inside of tonight's program. But let me say this as well. When it comes to alterations to the uniform, whether ceremonial or otherwise, of the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, it has to be gazetted. So let me check the gazette. Idode. Yeah? Any change to the uniform of the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, it has to be gazetted. In other words, it has to be published. That change, even if it's for a ceremonial wear. You don't just add things and throw things on it. It has to be gazetted. I haven't seen that, but they could do it. They will do it retroactive. We know it's retroactive. They like to do things. Eh? We're gonna speak about this week as well. We will revisit the procurement because I want people to understand clearly. Yeah, because the Procurement Act is very clear. It says that any purchase that is being made by the government of Grenada, I don't know what's the matter with that phone line. Yeah, any payment that's being made by the government of Grenada of over $15,000 for a service or a good, that has to go through the procurement process. In other words, you have to advertise that you're looking for it. You have to get about 3 bids. 3 bids is the best. Sometimes you might get 2, but you're looking for 3 bids in relation to it, right? And you look through. If the 3 bids, none of them ain't worth it, you retender. You put it out again to see if you can get somebody to provide the proper service. As I mentioned on Friday night, it is not necessarily a situation where the person who has the lowest bid will always win. Sometimes the person with the lowest bid cannot provide the aftercare. They cannot provide the servicing, the repairs to what it is that you may be looking for. When what you need is someone that can offer that. So that's why they may come in more expensive. So you have to take all of that into consideration. That is why you have a procurement procedure. That is why you don't just simply say, I'm looking for a plumber, you come. I'm looking for a welder, you come. That's why they don't do it like that. That is why there's a specific procedure in relation to these things so that you can get them done properly. All right? 4407377. I'm not too sure what's going on with the phone line here. It's giving me a little, yeah, but you can try. 347-329-3101. Matthew and Patricia, hope that you all are having a wonderful evening up there in Canada. Yeah, hope you're having a wonderful one. Yeah. And of course, yeah, I already called Officer Mary. The man say he's suing me. When my country call, hey. I ain't gonna tell you why he say he's suing me, but I laugh till I cry. Yes, man. Winston! I always playing. And folks, I'd like to thank all of you. Each time I go into town, I'm always surprised. So many people stop me and they say they listen to the program on a nightly basis and how much they enjoy the program and give me the encouragement to continue. And I'll always say the program is nowhere. It is nothing without you. Yeah, it is nowhere and it is nothing without each and every one of you that contribute to this program on a daily basis. Those of you that call, those of you that help us with information and so on. Yeah, those of you that help us with clarifying information. We'd like to thank each and every one of you. Yeah. And let me also say this. I often refer to the Gazette, the Gazette, the Gazette, the Gazette. And let me just tell you what the government gazette is. Now, according to law, according to which law it is you're implementing and so on and different things like that, you must publish. You must gazette. You must publish it in the gazette. And, we used to have the weekly newspapers and so on. You had to publish it in one of those as well. Let me take this call. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening, my brother. How are you tonight?
I am quite fine. You go right ahead.
Wonderful. Right. Brother Sheldon, just today, and I want to ask you this question. What is the present situation with the 4 families who had lost their houses in the Janangle, St. George area? What is the present situation? Today, a mother and her daughter was seen begging or asking for money to help rebuild the house. What is the situation, brother? This is a real sad situation. I remember when that house got burned in Grenada Valley. The minister went straight ahead and rebuilt that house. No fire report, nothing. Here are some persons that they should help. So that money, they could take on that as an independent project to build the 4 houses that was engulfed or that was consumed by fire. I think that happened sometime around maybe July, August last year, thereabouts. That is a sad situation. All right, and I want to send a message to this government that they should take into consideration the social life of our people in Grenada. It is deteriorating. Those people have no disposable money, no money to spend in this country. And poverty is climbing, it's getting worse every day. You see, people are begging. The Prime Minister said that, if you're beggy, you cannot be a parliamentarian and people go use you. But that's true. That's true. Well, put some money in people's hands. Put money where people can have it to spend on the social life. You see? So I'm waiting for the answer, brother. I don't know if you have any response to that about the 4 houses that got engulfed by fire.
Mm-hmm. All right, my brother.
Some of them last year.
You may not hear me on the phone, so I'll speak when you're off. Oh, no problem.
Yes, I'm going to hang up and listen to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What I would say is that while in St. George today, I was approached by a young lady carrying a very young child. I think that child can be more than just a few months old. And she did tell me, and she was approaching various people, she did tell me that she was one of the folks that lost their home there and that they're trying to rebuild and so. I did ask if they're receiving assistance and different things like that, and she was not that clear in her responses in relation to that. I, on my own, would have to do some more investigation in relation to that matter before speaking more on it. Because I don't want to go out there and say that they're getting help and they're not getting. And I don't want to go out there and say that they're not getting and they are getting. I am unclear on the issue. I was approached by one of the individuals today. I did have a conversation for a short while with them. So I'm aware of what Pastor was just speaking about when it comes to these individuals. As to more clarity, I just met them just as I was leaving town this afternoon. So I wasn't able to get some more information on it yet. I will see what other information I can get so that we can put that out and let people know what is going on and, if necessary, how they can assist these individuals and so. All right? But the bottom line, I really don't have information in relation to that. Let me take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Scott. I live
evening.
around the area, and these people are getting help because I think the stats, 2 of the house, they almost finished the house. So I think it's only one of the young man house that didn't start yet. One of the brother house didn't start yet, but the blind lady house almost finished, and I think the daughter's house are getting repaired. They do getting help.
And I'm glad that you called, caller, because I have no idea. And I wouldn't say anything. I don't know. I just don't know.
No, I'm just telling you
Yeah.
because I live around the area, so that's why I could tell you there is getting help to the house.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes, I live right around the area, so they are getting help.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much for your input.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So you see, that's why sometimes I have to be careful because I had no idea, right? So there's someone who's living in the area. They are receiving assistance. I should have asked whether that assistance is coming from government or whether it's from the same going around and people like yourselves helping. I'm not sure. Yeah, so probably I should have asked that question, and I may ask that question if I see the individuals tomorrow. I'll ask it from them because the neighbor may see what is going on, but they may not know the source of what is going on. All right, but it's good to know that at least 2 of the houses are far advanced, and that another one needs to start and that sort of thing. So that's good to know that it's at that stage. All right, we could probably take one more quick call, 440-7377. That person would have to call right about now. I was mentioning about the government gazette too, but I'll tell you all about that during the week as well. I'll just explain what the government gazette is to you all and the importance of things being published in the government gazette. Because, say for instance, a board of directors, if you form a board of directors of a statutory body and it is not published in the gazette, technically they're illegal. Yeah? And there are many boards of directors right now sitting, making decisions and doing all kind of thing, and are still waiting to see where and when they were gazetted. All right, good. 440-7377 or 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call. And as I said, if you're calling, you gotta call now. And I'm not sure who our guest will be tomorrow night. I'll double confirm early in the morning. I will double confirm. But it's Talking Tuesday, so we will have a guest on with us tomorrow night to have a conversation. I know I did speak to one individual. I don't want to go and say that individual's name now and kind of force them into having to be on tomorrow night. But we will definitely be speaking with one of our folks tomorrow night. We will be doing an interview tomorrow night. All right, folks. So if that's it, yeah, I was waiting for one more call, but it didn't come through, so we're going to have to move. Right, folks, that's all the time we have tonight for Talking Points. It's always wonderful being here with you all. And folks, in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. Remember to stay safe out there. COVID is still around. Dengue is still around. Right, hand and mouth, the one children get, that is around. Make sure they have the little sanitizer when they're going to school and that sort of thing. That is around as well. All right. I know conjunctivitis. There are a few cases of conjunctivitis out there. In other words, red eye. There are some cases of that out there. There are also some cases of what you might call it. That one where they get the belly pains and so on, and the diarrhea. Feel like 2 men with 2 razors cutting you up in your stomach again. Oh boy, the name is slipping me right now, but that is out there as well. So there are a few things. Be careful. Just remember, in everything that you're doing, just be careful. All right, folks? And keep your eye on what is taking place with Dickie Come Jenny, of course. It's mellowed out a bit from the very active period during last week at the weekend. It's mellowed out a bit, but we still have to keep our eyes on what is going on. I know just recently, though, they went up there and they put some new monitoring equipment. In fact, just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, NADMA went up there and changed over the monitoring equipment. They have new equipment, monitoring and so on. So they're getting good information. All right, folks. So I am out of here and we'll be back tomorrow night from 8 p.m. with more Talking Points for you.
I am stuck between a rock and a hard place in this modern time. God gave us a gift, we brain and we cranium, still He gave us a mind. Think about positive endeavors, so low, the brain living in the dust. Because they would see it on the name of a brother with malice intention, when instead they could be uplifting a sister for life progression. It is so hard now when a man turn a big man and still didn't grow. But the reason they procrastinate and gossip is because their mind is poor. So I say poor mind will gossip. Illiteracy, simple mind, talk about places that they could never be. Ordinary mind, talk about events and personalities, but wouldn't mind speak about ideas, and great mind speaks philosophy. The mind is such a spiritual force, will make you do what's right. And for sure, my friends, you are in control, so there's no reason to fight. I know you heard this before. Life is how you make it, so be honorable. Now when you sit in a state of idleness, that making your mind simple. Now all you should know, your mind is the center of your universe. A bad thing to waste, yes man, in all different sizes, and in your head it was placed to uplift and elevate those around me with tremendous grace. Positive is always the way to go. I want to please stay away from his, because I say poor mind will gossip. Illiteracy, simple mind, talk about places that they could never be. Ordinary mind, speak about events and personalities, but wouldn't mind speak about ideas, and great mind speaks philosophy. Instead of vision, a lot of people live in dreams and love to expatiate. They love to talk about man-made creation, so their life is on wait. Most of their thoughts is based on fiction and not reality. So I wrote this song to let them know they must change their mentality. You spend all your time with your mind being carnal and does not have a clue, creating a sense of hopelessness and still don't believe it's true. You really don't know how to uplift your standard, man, only wasting time. I know the reason for that, my friends.